So, hi everyone. My name's Rin. I'll be running Ori and the Blind Forest. I've been running this game for a little bit over a year now, I believe. And I'll be accompanied by two lovely commentators who will be doing most of the heavy lifting. Hello Grimelios, hello Shayfe. How are both of you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah, I'm doing great too. My name is Shayfe. Sorry for talking over one another. Go ahead.
I think that's a good start, talking over each other. Really.
Yeah, you know, very, very professional caliber here. So yes, this is Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. If you've never seen it before, it's a 2D platformer Metroidvania predominantly focused on movements rather than combat, particularly in the speedrun. Before we get going here, I want to mention a few things. First, for a long time, the main categories of this game on SRC have been dominated by a runner known as Lucidus. That is, until 2 weeks ago or so, when Rin dethroned Lucy off a main category. In fact, the one that you're going to be seeing today, Rin is now the world record holder with a 43.13. So big congrats to Rin. Second, the rule set is no out of bounds, no teleport anywhere. No out of bounds is probably fairly self-explanatory, but no teleport anywhere, to use more common nomenclature that you might be familiar with, is effectively saying no wrong warp. Third, Rin is going to be playing on KBM. One of the reasons for this, other than sheer preference, is that it does make a few things easier compared to controller, notably one trick which we will talk about as we get to it. So with that, we're ready to go. Rin, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Grimelios, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Then we are ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's begin.
Good luck.
GLHF. And we are going to start off by skipping 10 minutes immediately through the skip prologue button that is present right there on the menu at the start. And one of the first things that you're going to be seeing here, as is tradition in Metroidvania, as you go to the left. The second thing is Rin is going to be jumping around a lot. You're going to see this mostly for the first 7 minutes. The reason for that is that the geometry of the world is pretty much as it's drawn. So if you're going up a slope, you will actually move a little bit slower than you would otherwise. And we did talk about the category being all cabbages, and this is our first cabbage there. That is an energy cabbage. And now we have to go collect our first ability of the game.
These cabbages aren't forbidden, are they?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, good.
We will be collecting 60 cabbages or cells. I like cabbages better. Throughout this run, we will not be collecting those linearly, so as we go, the run kind of starts slow and it will get faster and faster with skills and in terms of the pace at which we collect the cabbages.
Yep. So this is our first ability. It is Sign, otherwise known as Spirit Flame, and we're going to see a little bit of speed tech here straight away on the scroll wheel. As Ren is moving to the right, he's going to be pacing his shots at a very particular rate in order to be able to continuously move out to the right while killing these Frankies and not slowing down in the slightest. There gets a little pop-up, presses escape, and there we go. Another thing that you're going to be seeing Rin doing as we head off to our next ability, Wall Jump, is that he's going to be keeping track very closely of his XP. You can't see it on the screen right now. The UI is off for reasons. That is that...
Oh, sure. Okay.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what to do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to AGDQ 2022 Online, powered by Twitch. We are just fixing a few things up real quick. We'll be right back with you for more Ori. Oh, well, there you go. Right back actually means right now. Thanks for waiting.
Yeah, teacher.
All right, folks. You've got it. We'll be ready to go again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So, as I was saying, Rin is going to be monitoring his XP count, which you can't see because the UI is off because that skips dialog boxes that would pop up. In fact, right there, you saw Ori pause just for a second as Rin picked up a health orb, and you're normally supposed to get a little toast notification that says, hey, you picked up a health orb, but UI is off specifically to skip that.
Yeah, you're going to see Rin take an intentional death in a moment. Along with experience, Rin is carefully managing health. So in a moment, Rin is going to open the first keystone door for making a save and dipping in the water. Rin carefully managed his health to die instantly. What that is a trick called a ghost door, which skips a little bit of the opening door animation.
Yep, and the XP values are going to start mattering very shortly here. Again, as we're kind of spamming Spirit Flame in a very particular pattern to be able to get these kills as we go. You see the UI pop up there very briefly. And Grimelios, one of the things, even though like this is sort of basic movement that we're seeing here right now, is that there's a lot of small optimizations going on, like that little backflip to enter into that cutscene a little bit further.
Yeah, it's something you really notice when you look at top runners like Rin as compared to newer runners, is even in these early splits. Yeah, that was an accidental early level up. Not going to be too big a deal. The intent was to level up here on the way out and destroy some of these brambles. So Rin is going to take a moment and do it now. Not too big a deal, all things considered. There are much worse fates one can find later on.
Yeah, it's like 3 seconds. It's not a big deal. Sometimes the RNG can just do that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Shayfe, what is this?
This is a wall jump. It is our second ability of the game, the first movement one that you get. We're going to be popping off to the left here real quick to collect an energy cell that is actually required for a trick that is going to be coming up. You'll notice if Rin flicks the UI on real quick, he's got 2 energy down at the bottom, 3 health, and then that center donut is the experience counter / amount of ability points that he has. There's a 4 energy door that we are going to do some shenanigans with, but we are only going to have 2 energy to do so. So that is kind of a bit of a critical juncture. Some very tricky wall jumps, including off a little ledge there, a little log floating in the midst there, and we're going to be heading off to Blackroot, and you're going to be seeing a trick as we enter Blackroot called Save Anywhere, which you are going to be seeing a whole bunch throughout the run.
Yeah, Save Anywhere is a very impactful glitch. This game, you haven't seen it yet, but it has an ability menu, and normally Ori is locked in place while the ability menu is open, but through the Save Anywhere trick, you can walk around with the ability menu open in the background. The reason that matters is that when you spend an ability point, the game saves wherever you're at, even in an unintended location. So we're going to be using that in just a moment. Rin's going to step on the Spirit Well. In just a moment here, open up the Save Anywhere, enter the cutscene trigger, and then save and reload the game. So generally speaking, as this run continues, whenever you see these real quick series of ability menus and exits and reloads, it's usually to skip a cutscene.
Yep. There are a few instances of other applications, but that is indeed the primary one. So this is Blackroot Burrows, one of the areas that was added in the Definitive Edition. 2 skills are located here. We're going to get one now. It is the Go Fast ability, known as Dash. As you can see, the language here is German, and an important note about that, Grim.
Yeah, so German is the fastest language in this game, and the reason is that every language is the fastest language. Because we turn off the UI to skip all the dialogue boxes, so it really doesn't matter what language you use.
All right, so Rin is on 3 health here. Those spikes down there deal 3 hit points worth of damage. She's going to be going for a very specific laser cycle here in a moment, as this orb is going to be spawning and despawning little energy things such as those I-beams and platforms and etc. He's got to carry this through the area with him, and this is the laser cycle here, kind of passing sort of through the laser.
That's
very
scary.
nicely done. But Blackroot this section of Blackroot anyway, is predominantly auto-scroller, so there's a whole bunch of little tiny movement optimizations like pausing here that Rin is doing in order to manipulate cycles in a very specific way.
Yeah, as with many other parts of the early game, this may look relatively straightforward, right? In terms of skills, we're just sort of running and jumping, but there's a lot going on in terms of micro-optimizations. Like even in Blackroot, there's something called orb manipulation, which is a little complicated, but there's just, trust me when I say there's more going on than meets the eye.
And a little bit of continued auto-scroller here as well. Rin is a little bit higher on the XP value than would probably like, but it's okay.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah, it should be okay.
The important thing is that we haven't leveled up yet.
Yeah, that is the critical thing. There are some issues with Frankie Walk, which will be coming up in a minute or so, where if you are too close to leveling, it can be a little bit tricky to manipulate the Frankie in the right way. But we're going to see a couple cutscene stacks here in different ways. We talked about using Save Anywhere to skip cutscenes. You can also use the Soul Link that you place on the ground. That bright, shiny little pillar of light is the save, aka Soul Link, and you can also rekindle it if you're near enough to a cutscene when you enter it. So you're going to be seeing that as a manipulation sometimes. And got the cutscene stack. Very nice. There's the rainbow dash that you guys put your money in for. Thank you very much for that. You cannot see the blind movement, but Rin is across the gap, a very dangerous section because of his autosave that is placed there. And now, Frankie Walk.
Yeah, the early game of Ori is very dense in terms of commentary, so if you aren't following everything, that's okay. We'll try our best. This trick is called Frankie Walk. Earlier, Shayfe mentioned a 4 energy door. We only have 2 energy, so what Rin is going to do is kite this Frankie enemy all the way over to the right, very near to the door, and then put 2 energy in, kill the Frankie, and absorb its experience to level up and refill energy, and put 2 more in the door. It's going to go by very quick, but done correctly, this is a very powerful sequence break that lets us get to Moon Grotto early.
Yeah, you're intended to go through the Charge Flame Tree and then a long loop around the Swamp Loop and then down into Grotto. Yeah, and nice. Just like that, when Oxygen goes on a date with Magnesium, OMG, we are into Death Gauntlet.
Wow.
And
and the 10 out of 10 joke. Man, take my job. That was great.
That's probably the best chemistry joke of GDQ so far.
Yeah, I had a bit that we talked about before about properly petting Frankies, but that was way better.
Anyway, we're coming up on God Cycle. What is the God Cycle?
God Cycle is a very careful manipulation of your movement, including pausing on that little edge to the right there that you see Gomo going across, then dashing, climbing this wall with a very specific series of jumps movements, trying to get the ramp on the crystal in order to be able to get that cycle fast. Fun note, all cycles in this game are 8 seconds, even if they're not. And Rin, don't forget to back up your save somewhere here before double jump.
Oh, yeah, true. Good call.
That damage that Rin just took was intentional. Remember the ghost door from earlier where we skip part of the animation? You're going to see the same thing, except that rather than dying to water, we die to the Frankie. We're quickly coming up on double jump, which is pretty self-explanatory as a skill, but we're going to be doing some more blind movement when we get there.
Yeah, we'll give Rin a little bit of quiet here because he does have to hear his dash timings.
Here's the backup. Okay, we're through.
Nicely done.
Nice.
On the left side of the wall. And
yeah, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, we're talking about the geometry of the map a little bit earlier and how everything looks basically the way that it's drawn. We are actually going to abuse that right now here in Moon Grotto. You're supposed to go all the way across to the left and sort of chase Gumo around, but there's a little lip on this wall right here that's just vertical enough in order you'd be able to get a wall jump off of it. And there's the baguette jump as well.
Yes.
Only French runners can do it. Excellent job, Rin.
Run's valid.
That saves, I think, 20 frames, right?
Yeah, it's 20 frames.
Totally worth it.
You saw a real quick rekindle cutscene skip. There's supposed to be boulders falling here that try to hit you and damage you. They're not going to be here. As we said, throughout this run, you're going to see a number of real quick cutscene skips. Some of them with save anywheres, some of them like this one with a rekindle. You'll also see some of these cutscenes play sort of out of order as Rin ascends back up the area. Remember that we sequence broke to get here.
Yeah, Rin was just trying to kind of do a little backwards double jump there into the cutscene to be a little bit faster. So we opened up this 2 energy door earlier, and we did that because we have a green cabbage that we need to collect here, which is certifiably tastier than blue or yellow cabbages. And another...
No.
Had to try for it, though. I respect the effort.
That jump is possible.
It's called the garbage jump for an obvious reason.
Here you're going to see Rin take a quick pit stop to activate this teleporter. We will be using it later before continuing up. Like I said, our objective right now is the first dungeon of the game. Nice job, got through Gandalf. The dungeon is called the Ginso Tree. That's where we're headed to.
Yeah, and it has a few different things that we need to get out of there. One of them is a skill. The other is an energy cell to fulfill the requirement of the category. We get another timed level up here in order to kill that frog and that slime, which was just off screen, in order to progress onwards towards the Ginso Tree itself. And we're going to go up here, skipping the teleporter that you might remember down below there, because we do not need that one in this category. And we are going to do another rekindle skip for the first cutscene here. And then we're going to put the water vein in the door as Gumo is conveniently running away with it. And a tea tree, I do believe, since we're going to have just some movement here through the first half of Ginzo or so, that you've got time for probably 4 or 5 donations.
Lovely. We've got 40 or 50 or maybe more, but I'll get through 4 or 5. Covert Muffin donates $20 and says, "Hey, Rin, incredibly proud of the work you've put in. Best of luck with Wilhelm and the grenade jumps. Ori fam is watching and cheering you on." Thank you, Covert.
Thanks, Muffin.
Blue Pale sends in $5. "Let's go, Rin. You got this, you amazing gamer. Much love from the Watch Party team." The Sound Defense sends in $25. "The only fair and objective way to determine the relative speeds of Ori and Monkey Ball is to measure bananas per second. By this measure, Monkey Ball is infinitely faster than Ori. I know this. I am a certified mathematologist." Thank you, Sound Defense. And one more. $10,000 from Fangamer. Hey, everybody.
Wow.
Fangamer here. We'd like to invite you to check out our AGDQ 2022 lineup, where 100% of the profits from sales gets turned into donations just like this one that support the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Fangamer has an assortment of awesome GDQ merch you'll love, like the official event badge, the Metal Gear Solid Finale game pin, the sleek blindfolded hoodie and joggers, and many more. You can find the full merch lineup at fangamer.com/GDQ. Thanks to everyone who has already picked something up. We really appreciate it.
Just barely missing the 4 cycle on that boss there. It is possible with Quick Flame, which Rin leveled up way back over at Black Grouper. It was very tough to do. It was only about 1 shot away, but that's okay. And
Yeah, it's really hard.
It is really, really hard to get. And I would also like to dispute that whole banana thing, because we do have an area in Ginzo coming up a little bit later that we nicknamed Banana Stand because reasons.
Stand. Is that a
That's
JoJo's
true.
reference?
I don't even know. I can't tell you. It's just somebody said it was a banana stand and now it's canon. So this is Bash. Grimelios, you want to explain how this works?
Yeah, Bash is a very unique ability to Ori. What it lets you do is to latch onto certain objects like these lanterns, or in a moment you'll see Rin do it on an enemy as well in projectiles. You throw yourself in one direction and the thing you grabbed in the other direction. There is a very powerful glitch called double bashing, which is a little easier on keyboard and mouse. That's something that Shayfe alluded to earlier. We'll be seeing our first double bash in just a moment right here. You'll see Rin shoot the projectile in one direction and then double bash it.
Dropped. I guess we're saving here. This guy can just respawn, that's no big deal.
Yeah, you just have to go and get the shark to respawn. That's not a big problem. Yeah, that is the thing about double bashing, is that it is a 1-frame window that you have, and despite, being on KBM and having scroll wheel available, sometimes the double bash will just drop. There is a very specific rhythm that you have to do with it, and I did get it there second try. This is key duplication. It's exactly what it sounds like. Rin's going to put 3 keystones in the door, take a death with the keys in the door, and now Rin has 3 keystones in his pocket, even though he died, and things happened with the video game, so that's okay. Here's the 1 energy cell that we do need to collect in Ginzo. If you are hoping to get the Ginzo escape and the music that everybody loved when they played this game casually, I am sad to report that we are not going to do that. We are going to collect the Ginzo teleporter and then immediately go out to swamp.
Yeah, quick hyperspeed there. Nice job. If you make a save mid-dash, you can get those hyperspeeds. Just 1 quick mini-boss to take out before we take that teleporter. One thing I want to say about this upcoming trick, which is another pretty powerful sequence break, it was actually discovered through the randomizer. For those unaware, Ori has what I consider to be a fantastic randomizer, and this is one instance of how the randomizer can actually contribute to RTA categories.
Yeah, for sure. And while we have a 10-second cutscene here, if you're interested in playing Ori Rendo, you can go to orirendo.com.
You're welcome, Aiko.
All right, so now that we have Bash, this section is going to be going by a little bit faster. Gandalf can no longer tell us that we shall not pass, and then we are going to do that jump successfully on the first try this time. Will we get the big girl ramp? No, we will
Nah,
not.
I didn't get it.
But that's okay. Another rekindle skip here, and then we're going to be doing some additional blind movement to pick up a frog that we have named Ringo, which will become apparent when we are on our way out from the stomp tree. But for now, we are going to take said frog for that randomizer discovered trick, utilize a double bash to shift it over into the spikes here, which it's not supposed to be at, so it doesn't take damage. And then a couple double bashes, the shot breaks the floor off this rhino, and then we are off to stomp tree with another hyperspeed. And because this is going to be a very jam-packed section coming up as we head towards Feather, do want to explain very briefly how charge dashing works.
Yeah, charge dashing is something that we haven't seen yet. We're seeing the regular dash with that rainbow trail. Charge dashing is an upgrade to regular dashing, which is going to be used both for offense, but primarily for a very, very fast movement tech, both horizontally and vertically in a sequence known as a rocket jump. Like I said, you're not going to see it yet, but once we get it, things are going to go from reasonably fast to extremely, extremely fast, and so it may be a little hard to follow as it happens.
Yeah, and so we wanted to make sure that was brought up ahead of time. And also because we want to make sure that your lovely donations can be read by the ineffable Tea Tree.
Woohoo! Ineffable. I haven't been described that way since this one time in never mind. Der Unterhandler sends in $10 and says, I'll donate $20 more if the announcer or runner can pronounce my name right. Do it for charity. How's that sound, folks? Did I get close?
I think that was a success.
All right. White Paws sends in $15. Proud of you, Rin, for being here in the big stage after all the work you've put into this game. You are incredible and an inspiration to tackle difficult projects and persevere through them. So congrats again in the world record you achieved. Also, shout out to the whole Ori community. Love you all.
Thanks,
What do you think? One more?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead with them.
All right, we got $20 from Frozen Flygon, who says, Hi, Rin from the Celeste community and CF. I'm so excited to see you running Ori on the main stage. Thanks for all the laps over the past year, and good luck. Thank you, Flygon.
Thanks to y'all.
So you probably heard in the background there as Ringo was being bounced across that log that he was doing some drumming. That's Ringo. So we got a couple cells that we're going to collect here in the outer swamp loop area because it is fastest to do now. You will have noted, if you're familiar with the map of Ori, that we have been skipping some of them along the way. Part of the reason for that is not because double bashing is a perfectly good trick, but as you drop a couple more, it's fine, don't worry about it. Lag frames happen. Yeah. But there are actually some cells that are hard locked by certain skills, such as Stomp. Rin is actually going to be opening up the location to one of those cells, even though we aren't going to pick it up right now. But also there are some grenade locked cells. And so just because we are still going to acquire some of our go fast tech, it ends up being faster to do it on cleanup, as is the case in a lot of sort of completionist categories.
Yeah, something else that we sort of glossed over, because we did that swamp entry sequence where we didn't complete the Ginso tree, the water in the game is going to remain poisonous for the entire time. Sometimes it may visually look clean, but it's not. Whenever Rin is in water, he's going to be taking damage once per second. That will become a lot more relevant later.
Indeed. Probably about 2 more donations.
2 more donations for you. Jmal116 sends in $500 with the comment, glide, 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 dash. And then it says in parentheses, Rin will get it, I promise.
Thanks, Jayma.
And $25 from Super Fluffy Koala that says, hello from the Ori speedrun community. Good luck on your run, Rin. We are all rooting for you.
I wish I had time to explain that joke to you, but we just don't have time because Rin is going to be entering Valley here now. That was the charge flame tree that we picked up, which is useful for exactly breaking that wall and about nothing else. Then we're going to be leveling up Charge Dash, which we talked about as we're at the stomp tree. You're going to see the first instance, boom, right there as we attack that bird with the Charge Dash, bashing off of it specifically to refund our energy spent by using the Charge Dash, which we can also do with Stomp. You're going to see a lot of that throughout the run. Rin is going to be timing various different stomp cancels and bash cancels, and sometimes just not canceling them at all, depending on how he's decided to route his energy in order to go very fast, stepping up this wall for another rocket jump and a stomp, which the aura, for some reason, breaks that wall, and moving on to fast stompless grip.
Yeah, fast stompless, what we're supposed to do here is go stomp rocks, but we're not going to do that. Instead, you're going to see Rin very carefully redirect this projectile, dash out of the way very quickly to unload a rock that's in the way, while also trying to get to an ability cell. This timing is pretty tight, has to get up top, done properly, get the cell. God, that was just frames before the hit happened.
Yeah.
With that, we have successfully acquired the cell, and we're, in just a moment, going to pick up the glide skill, or Kuro's Feather.
Glide, 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 glide. So the run's officially started. You can start the timer, as we are now going to be zooming very fast. We're going to go down to go up. This will make sense. Rocket jumps have been happening very fast. Blink and you miss them. This one you will definitely see as we go zooming all the way up. Valley, rocket jumping again in order to stomp down, catch this bird. This is Sarabash. Will take you about 3 hours to learn. Very difficult. Rin makes it look easy.
That rocket jump is so scary.
I wasn't worried. Not at all. And now we are in Sorrow for a couple different reasons. There's a few cells here and also a very powerful ability called Charge Jump.
Yeah, just to be real clear about it, Sorrow Bash is a sequence break. By getting into this area early, first of all, it's very dangerous because rin's health is still relatively low and all these spikes deal like 4 or 5 damage. It's pretty spooky. Additionally, we skipped an entire second dungeon that we will be going back to later for exactly 1 cell, but for now it's a sequence break.
Yeah, we got a little bit of collection here to do, including these keystones here. This is a very aggressive cycle that rin is going to be going for, weaving very specifically in order to get haircuts from the lasers, dropping down to get through the first one from the top side, stomping down through all 3. Very nicely done. Charge dashing over this laser like it is nothing, taking this tumbleweed up to bash up through there, and we're rin, this frog's gonna die. You're gonna kill the rin. What are you doing? What?
It's fine.
First try, let's go.
That was called Crazy Juggle. Each of those stomp cancels was between a 2 and 3 frame window with very little leeway to not kill the frog. Rin did it so quickly that her joke barely had time to land.
Very nicely done. This is a sunstone. It is required because we do need to go and finish the game after all. We are collected all the cells, and this sunstone gets us access to the final dungeon of the game, Mount Horror. We are actually going to visit all the dungeons in this category. The Ginzo tree we visited mostly because of Bash, because it's very powerful, but also because there's an energy cell. We are going to have to dip into Misty and the Forlorn Ruins because there are cells there. Exactly 1 in each location. And otherwise, we wouldn't go because it's like a 5-minute detour to go get those 2 cells. But hey,
It's pretty ridiculous.
they do give us access to grenade jumps, and you get to see some cool movement in Forlorn as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah, this skill we just picked up is called Charge Jump. That damage was intentional, by the way, which also means that rin is now going to die if he touches any of the spikes. We have just a handful of cells to collect on our way out of Sorrow Pass. Before we continue on, some of this movement I think starts to get very, very satisfying. Quickly touching the wall.
I knew it. That's fine.
Well, hey, you get to see it again. Just a bit of movement there. As I was saying, getting to touch the wall to refresh these charge dashes. This is where the run really starts to shine, and you'll get to see even better examples of the kind of movement that's possible in this game very shortly as we head into Misty Woods.
yeah, generally speaking, runners of this game will say that the movement in Misty is the most satisfying. I think this category, because you have a lot more of the power skills for longer than you do in some other categories, that it opens up preferences in other areas. For me, it's the Glades Revisit that is one of my favorite areas to go into because some of the wall dashes that you can end up doing there. This is the last cell that we need to collect in Sorrow. A couple of very carefully timed bash and stomp cancels to come down here and exit, and we are going to stay quiet because Wilhelm exists.
That's always a fun Easter egg. This is the area we were talking about, Misty Woods, where you get to see these very careful series of charge dashes. Something I want to point out, if you look down at the bottom of the screen, specifically at that blue energy bar, you'll see that as rin is performing all these charge dashes, that he is continually spending and refunding the energy. That also means that if you mess up, you run out of energy and you are unable to charge dash until you refill it. So this isn't just mindlessly spam to go fast. There's a lot of intentionality to specifically how all of these charge dashes are performed.
Yeah, and we're also haven't touched on the fact that we're skipping some of these pickup animations. You're supposed to get one for every cell that you grab, but if you stay off the ground for 5 seconds playing The Floor is Lava, as it turns out, you don't get the animation. So in that instance, you saw the bash off the slime there, very specifically designed to skip that pickup animation.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a pretty big death.
That is a pretty big death. And you know what that means? It's a pretty good time for some donations, T3.
Yep, you got it.
That's what I've been told. Thankfully, we have a lot of those. Zemsis sends in $485.23 and says, "Hey Rin, here's $485 for your 485 seconds of having dashed and using it to great effect. Good luck on your run, and remember not to wait around until getting all 23 of Kuro's feathers."
All 20.
Thank you, Zem.
Keegan and Blake send in $100. "Hey everyone, greetings from France where it's getting pretty late. Good luck, Rin, on this awesome run of Orin and the Blind Forest. Don't forget to rin spin. We love you." Party emoji.
Love you guys.
Griffs99 donates $25 with the comment, GL with collecting all the glowy orbs, Rin. Love Ori community. Time for more?
Yeah, let's say one more.
Rory Rye donates $250 and says, always exciting to see Ori at GDQ. I'm really looking forward to the all cells late game movement. Let's go, Rin. And if I remember right, we're not actually at the fastest part of the run yet, are we?
No. We're getting there, but not quite. We have to do some of that section again, obviously. Bren's a little bit low on energy here because just missing some of the refunds. Not really. Okay, well, slightly bigger deal. Rin, can you just please stop hurting my heart?
Don't worry, no one's ever died in Misty before, it's fine.
No, and especially not on pace or during a marathon.
All right,
Yep.
everyone can breathe. We've made it to safety. When you get a tree,
Okay.
you feel. Yeah, you doing okay, Rin? This skill is called Climb. By itself, it's a relatively mundane skill, but in combination with some others, we'll be able to do a trick called grenade jumping. Not yet, but a little bit later. With that said, we still have to exit Misty Woods, so that's primarily what we're going through. We also, at the end of this whole area, we're going to get a key to the second dungeon, which we have to go into for a cell. I'm sorry, a cabbage.
A cabbage, that's correct. Until we get that key, though, it's just going to be some movement, and I believe we're actually in a new prize block, T-Tree, is that right?
I think this is actually the very last game of... no, yes, you're right. This is the very first game of a prize block, running all the way till Hitman Codename 47 all missions, and featuring prizes like a Baby Coup and Ori plush from Fangamer and Moon Studios, and an Ori statue from the Storyteller Cosplay and Cute Monster Props. Those first two are $10 minimum donations, and the statuette is a $25 minimum donation. If you want to see those for yourselves, go to gamesdonequick.com and look up prizes near the top of your screen.
Very
Let's
nice.
Let's do one more quick one while Rin is carrying the orb.
Yep.
Happy to. Aiko sends in $50 and says, Heart, good luck, Rin. Don't forget you have Dash. Ori Rando hype.
Thanks, Eiko. I won't forget.
I hear that might have been based on something that happened.
Yes.
That's a random meme. I wanted to quickly point out these orb bashes. If you pick up the orb and bash on the same frame, you do this, which is fast, and also I think it looks funny. You end up stacking the animations.
That's pretty good. We are going to get a little bit of quiet time here for Rin, though. Going to be performing another section of blind movement, and this one is very hard.
Yeah. Okay, we're through.
God,
Nice.
that's amazing. Every time I see it.
Every time you don't see it.
Good point. Earlier in the run, if you recall, we've been here before, but there's more to this area we haven't explored. Shayfe mentioned that there are two skills down here. One of them, Dash, we've already acquired. We're going to make some pit stops for cells. We are heading towards the skill Light Grenade, which is going to be the final skill of the run. As an interesting side note, getting all skills is not strictly a requirement for the category. You just happen to need all skills anyway.
Yeah, technically not climb, but I mean, we go into Misty for the ability cell anyway, so we pick it up because grenade jumps. Yeah, so a little bit more blind movement here with this ability menu up, a very difficult sequence. We're keeping this all the way basically until we get to the grenade tree in order to skip a very long, about 70-second-ish cutscene, one of the longest ones in the game. Trying to hit cycles here in a very particular order. This looks a bit slow. Yeah, I'm gonna stop it and just kind of play a little bit safe. Good call. And charge jumping up to get the bash off this bird. That is the cutscene skip. As we now grab Light Grenade, this is going to open up grenade jumps for us in short order. Basically, horizontal rocket jumps. The way that works is that you hold onto the wall with climb, which is what makes climb useful, and then you throw a grenade and you charge jump one frame after throwing that grenade, and you get said grenade jump. Here it is.
That was the same frame. There we go.
There it is.
Nice.
Yeah, each of those is a very manual frame perfect jump. I guess we didn't really explicitly describe how rocket jumps work earlier. Both rocket jumps and grenade jumps, as Shayfe said, work on the same principle, which is that when you charge dash, you go super, super fast, but just for a moment. And through these various means, through rocket jumping and grenade jumping, you can basically trick the game into not into not slowing you down again. Would you agree that's a reasonable explanation of it?
Yeah, effectively, we're canceling the effect, but preserving the momentum.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I love that grenade throw, crouch dash combo.
Yeah,
that is just
it's
so
really
slick.
cool.
Another grenade jump here to get through the lasers. Very nice. And you're supposed to do this with the grenade puzzle, but turns out when you have charge jump, you can just skip it. These spikes do infinite damage, so Rin does have to be a little bit careful because it doesn't matter how much health he has. He will instantly die. Throwing a couple grenades to open up lower black root burrows. And we have actually very carefully routed the amount of health cells that we are picking up, including one of the ones that you saw way earlier in Hollow Grove. Because we're going to be doing a damage-boosted swim, as Grim alluded to earlier on. Thanks, Athos, for this quick kill.
I'll just save, it's fine.
Yeah. We did not go into Ginzo, the escape sequence, and clean the water, so... loads are a thing. I don't think you went quite deep enough into the room.
This happens at that spot in particular. It's something we'll touch on later. Generally, I think this game is extremely solid on a technical level. Like, we traverse the world in these ridiculous ways, and it's pretty hard to run into loading walls like that. So props to Moon Studios for that.
Yeah, for sure. Double bashing has never failed in water.
Never.
We're gonna have to take a death here. So we leveled up Ultra Defense. In addition to routing our health cells, we've also routed the amount of ability cells that we pick up, specifically so that we can get Ultra Defense to be able to do this swim. You're gonna see Rin use these fishes and double bash off of them. He's gonna exit with only 2 HP. Thankfully, there's a flower here and also a refill that he can take with a save. Gonna play it a little bit safe, take an intentional death in order to be able to get an additional refill off of the Ultra Soul Link. That's not a problem. This is just a little bit of time, but it saves time in the long run because you don't have to go ahead and do the swim 4 times.
It's certainly a tricky part of the run.
Yeah.
Is this gonna work?
It's going to be close.
No, this won't work.
We'll take
can
one
just
more
save again.
refill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Energy's fine.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just said energy's fine here to do it with the level up time that you got. So
yeah, for sure.
The cycles are a little bit out, but no, that's perfectly fine. So we're coming up on the halfway point of the run in terms of cell collection, actually.
Yeah, there's 60 total, as I mentioned earlier. In just a little bit here, like probably less than a minute, you're going to see me get an ability cell. Nice job getting out of there. Oh, goodness. This ability cell is cell number 30 out of 60. So remember when I said that this run gets faster, this is what I was talking about. Ori starts moving faster, and we start collecting all of these stray cells very, very quickly.
Yeah, I think about 1/3-ish of the cells are collected in 10 minutes in a 45-minute run. So it goes by pretty quick. We do have a couple longer detours left to do, as Ren is going to grenade jump over top of a cutscene triggered here. At a very precise angle, very nicely done. Refill Valley Teleporter.
I'll save at the Valley.
Yeah, because you got the Valley Log swim and so on and so forth. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I was going to mention about this category. In all cells, as compared to most other Ori categories, you end up collecting just so much health and energy by the end. It doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that you're safe, especially because there are many things in this game world that can insta-kill you. But for the most part, you end up being able to sort of move around, usually without fear of dying to random enemies as much, especially because every time you get a health cell, your health is fully refilled. It's kind of one nice aspect of this run.
Oh, very slick animation cancel with that
Nice.
moment. Very nicely done. Very hard to do.
Yeah.
We got another swim here. Coming up, we're going to get an energy refill at the end of it, and then we have to traverse our way down to the Forlorn Ruins. Again, there's exactly one cell there that we have to collect. Ends up being like roughly a 5-minute detour or something to go for that one cell. It's kind of crazy. But then we start picking up all the cabbages in fairly rapid order after that.
It's kind of funny. I think it's every single dungeon in this game, there are 3 of them, end up having 1 cell each.
Yeah.
Kind of funny how that works. Again, refilling health intentionally. A while ago, we didn't mention it, but Rin leveled up an ability such that every time a soul link is created, 2 health is restored, which helps to get enough health to survive these, just barely making it out alive. Nice job.
And this is what we're talking about with the zoomies. If you go, right there, the camera paused. That's because Rin was going so fast, the game hadn't loaded the next area yet. It is crazy that we have to break this game that hard for the game to be like, hold on a second. I got to do something. So just want to kind of elaborate there on what Grim was talking about earlier with the quality that Moon put into this video game. Also, there are some frozen Gumon out here. Feel free to count them.
There's one here, just about when we enter Forlorn. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's a 9th right here, actually, that I never noticed before.
Because the camera has to pan a certain way. There you go.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, this cutscene, you need to skip it. Otherwise, your run's invalid. That's just the way it works. There you go.
Okay.
So as mentioned, this is supposed to be the second dungeon of the game. You're supposed to come here and restore the element of winds before you ever even go into Sorrow Pass. The reason we come here later, in fact, we skip it in most categories, is because with Charge Dash and with Charge Jump, you can just skip all of the gravity mechanics and just fly through this area very, very quickly.
I don't think I've seen you do the charge jump on the outside of that firebox before.
That's the optimal cycle.
Nice.
It is really hard.
So we're charge dashing actually while holding on to the wall there because that activates the cutscene trigger on the other side of the door. We are opening the door anyway because we will need to exit. If we don't open that door, it is a soft lock and you cannot put keystones in your door from the reverse side. Unlike in the randomizer, which I will shamelessly plug once again. This is probably the only downtime of the run that you get, by the way. then we're going.
Downtime? I can work with that.
Yes.
Alrighty. I'll go to You Tell Me to Stop. Safira sends in $50 and says, "Hey everyone, the Ori games are one of my most beloved games I ever played, and seeing them shown at GDQ makes me kind of want to learn to speedrun them as well. My mother survived cancer 10 years ago, so thank you so much for everything you do to fight and prevent cancer." Thank you, Safira. Sarah Baron, or Kara Baron, sends in $30 and says, "Hey Rin, this is your 30-minute alarm. I sure hope you found Dash a long time ago. Keep enjoying it." Turtle Run 2412 donates $15 and says, "Shoutouts to the Ori community for being some of the best people I've ever met. Good luck on your run, Rin. May the frogs of Nebel be nice to you today."
T3, I just wanted to interject. The movement here is very precise. All of these lasers are insta-kill. Rin has very carefully routed out how to dash when all the lasers are blocked. It's very risky.
I wasn't sure that was going to work.
Just like you said.
You can...
Right. I'm on it. $1,000 from Zahariel, who says, "I did get 100% cells in this game back when, but I'm pretty confident it took me longer than 44 minutes. Good luck to all the runners and prevent that cancer." Musai sends in $50 and says, "Donating for a spooky spook crab and Arctic kit from the GDQ Discord. Also to my daughter Alicia, who is absolutely enthralled by the run. Shoutouts to Patris and Helix for their amazing race."
All right.
That was a fun one.
So we're about to enter the cleanup phase, and this is where we're collecting those final stray cabbages in very short order. We are coming up kind of close-ish to the end of the run, probably about 10-ish minutes or so left to go.
Like 8.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah. So in that time frame, you can feel free to count the cabbages. There is one. We're going to be going down into Lower Grotto here, collecting a second one. And then we're going to be stomping down, and we're going to be canceling our charge dashes to go over to this side where you were supposed to go about 30 minutes ago and collect the third one. Then we're going to try beat this crusher cycle.
Well, it's something that I think is very difficult from a routing perspective on this game is you just have so much energy, but you generally end up using it for more speed rather than more safety. Like, you still can make safety saves, but it's difficult. There's still a fair bit of risk.
Yeah, for sure. It's this interesting dichotomy between things are safer, but you can also play more aggressively, so it's actually more dangerous in a way. So it makes for a really interesting run, just because you have a lot of different options available to you in terms of how you want to play stylistically.
Yeah, we have a really fun... we were going to say the same thing. That grenade jump is one of my favorites. You go neutral on your input, is that right? You end up kind of bouncing off the wall and just going up very, very quickly.
Yeah, you just kind of wall run very fast.
Yeah, you can see how optimized so much of this movement is, just trying to charge dash as much as possible. Also keep in mind that every single charge dash will auto-target an enemy that's near you, so you can't even just charge dash wherever you want. You always have to be aware of which enemies are nearby.
I think that was cell number 8 in this cleanup phase, and there the camera pauses again because we're going way too fast off the grenade jump. And we're back in the glades now, the very start of the game, and rainbow dashing to our heart's content. Another poison swim here. This one is not even slightly dangerous. We have almost all the health that we're going to be grabbing throughout the course of the game. Just some energy and ability cells left predominantly. There's one health cell up above to the right, but we're going to go up to rinSR here first, and then charge dash right through these enemies. Stop canceling to our heart's content. Seeing the rare dialogue box because Rin left his UI on Ori Shy.
Yeah, I do want to point out there's a cell coming up here that we call the Glazer. This laser is insta-kill. Rather than pushing the rock as intended, Rin is going to make the save and then charge dash past it and use, nice job, used triple jump to get all the way across. Quite a bit faster than pushing the boulder.
Yeah, not
this movement.
Not a sweaty palms moment at all. This is why I think the glades clean up.
I just grenade jumped through that front key, alright then.
That has happened before, though.
I was just about to ask.
Yeah.
Teacher, feel free to hop in with another few donations if you like. What you're seeing here is generally nothing new. It's just applications of more and more of the same tech.
Alrighty, it's a great time for donations because we have a special donation from our very own Voolagin. $50.
Oh.
It says, great job on the run, Rin, and thanks for adding to the legacy of fantastic Ori marathon runs. Here's $50 because Dash is skill ID 50 in the randomizer.
Should we explain that?
No.
It's better if we don't, yeah.
There you go. I think you have to get into Ori randomizer if you want to know more, chat.
It's funnier with that context.
That's fair. This cell is one that we opened up earlier by stomping a peg. It just ended up being not only faster to get it now, but earlier we would probably not have been able to survive this poison slam, or it would have been very tight if possible.
We wouldn't at all. We wouldn't have ultra defense.
Yeah, that's what
So
I
like
figured.
it would be impossible.
Yeah, I think it's a 6 HP swim, and I think we're coming through here with 5 at a time. So we're almost on the cell cleanup phase, actually. We have a couple more in Horu Fields to get, an ability cell and another energy cell. And then we just have one left in Horu, and we're done. Oh yes, this health cell too. Nobody has ever missed that pickup in randomizing.
Never ever. Should be 3 more cells remaining. There's 2 more in this area that we call Horu Fields. We call it that because the final dungeon is Mount Horu, and these are the, fields on the way to Mount Horu.
And also it's called that in the video game.
Anyway, there's one cell. Nice grenade jump off to the side. Gonna stop. Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're fine.
Never know.
There were a lot of competing forces on that boulder.
I'm not getting any health refill until the end of the game, so might as well play it safe.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to, you could do some shenanigans, but... Okay, well...
Oh, gosh.
Sure, pick up animation on lava while not taking damage afterwards. That is a magical thing. I love that Terra jump, grenade jump. It's so good.
It's so good. Shout out to Muffin.
Yeah, so this area is the final dungeon of the game, Mount Horu. What's interesting is there's a trick you can do to immediately warp to the end of it and begin the final escape sequence. Rin is going to do that, but not immediately. First, we have to go up to the top because the one cell in this dungeon is way the heck up at the top, and it also features my favorite rocket jump of the whole run, right here.
Yeah, that slime actually only moves when it's on screen, and it's on screen during the cutscene, and it moves right where we need to in order to be able to get a rocket jump. It's just one of those sort of serendipitous things that happens. So we're going to do a trick called menu storage here, which is just magic that happens. Don't worry about it. So we're going to reload the game in a very specific way that skips this cutscene. Also has a fun side effect of despawning the hitbox of one of these falling spike crushers. That one specifically. And then we are going to activate this cutscene after collecting the energy cell, and then we are going to warp so that we can warp so that we can warp.
By the way, this is the last cell. That's 60 out of 60.
Cabbage.
Yeah.
Yes, cabbage. Anyway, so what's happening here, Rin has opened up a save anywhere, has to wait for a particular point in the cutscene where the camera is going to snap back to the main room of Horu. You'll see that in just a moment. When that happens, spend the point, exit and reload, and Ori ends up respawning back in the main room right at the entrance, which is wow.
Okay.
That was called door warp. It's a frame perfect trick to warp to the bottom. It happened so fast we barely even got to see it. Amazing.
And then we're going to warp again on this door after activating this cutscene. And the reason we do that is so that we activate more storage shenanigans, so that the cutscene is playing, so that we can move while it's blind. And just things happening off screen. Don't worry about it. I think
I'm sure you all did this.
Ooh.
It's fine.
Yep.
There's still some safety stress you can do here.
Yep.
You can just wait out the cutscene.
Yep. Not a problem. And then just kind of dash underneath that rock by crouching. Magical things. I love this game so much. All right, so we're going to charge up to the lantern and do a series of bash cancels in order to preserve our energy. Health is somewhat of a concern, but not really it's a bit more of a concern after taking that damage. We have an effective total 7 HP, so we're good because of ultra defense. And we are going to bash off a couple of fish, say hi Jeremy, bye Jeremy, and up we go to bypass a chase sequence trigger for Curl, hugging the left wall, making sure to bash in a specific direction, while grenade jumping to skip a cutscene that is a minute 20, but it's split up into 2 segments of 40 seconds apiece. And there we go. Time is not now. Rin still technically has to hold a button for 40 more seconds to move to the right, but GG.
Yeah, if anyone is inclined to say GG, I thought it was a good run personally. If any of you agree, you can probably safely put your GGs now. You can see the cutscene's a little bit messed up due to that final grenade jump.
Yeah,
I think chat's
are weird.
I think chat's going to end up being about 50% GG and 50% spins. Kind of in the vibe the whole time, and I am into it.
You know, I will count spins as GGs. Oh, very important micro optimization here called narrow hopping.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go. My best smashing for you guys. Didn't soft lock this time.
We didn't say
Great.
time. That was time.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was time.
Time was when you crossed the tree.
That was an
well done,
excellent
Rin.
run.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, just waiting for the timer to spin over on my screen so I can tell you your time if you'd like it.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Looks
That
like it
is-
is 48-42.
Very nicely
That
done.
is way better than I expected. Especially with like some big deaths. Like this game can be pretty punishing, but yeah, if you like take some safety saves, it's mostly fine. But I was a bit worried after the death in Misty Woods.
Yeah, that was a pretty
On the other hand, you did go buck wild on those frogs.
true.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that is Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. All cells, no out of bounds, no teleport anywhere, as performed by world record holder rinSR. Rin, do you have anybody that you want to shout out?
Yeah, so I'd like to shout out obviously all of the Games Done Quick crew. You guys are doing an amazing job at like setting us up, like, just organizing all the logistics and stuff. Like even everyone that works like behind the scenes. Like thank you guys for organizing this amazing event. Shout out to Gareth Coker for making the music of this game.
I'll second
Very
that.
good soundtrack. And shout outs to the Ori community. You guys are amazing. Thanks for all the dash donations.
Grim, do you have anybody?
No, I was just going to second. If you thought this run looked interesting, the speedrun page is speedrun.com/Ori_DE. I'm sure there's a Discord link in there. I like to think we're a welcoming place. Come say hi.
Yep, I'd agree with that. Probably one of the most welcoming speedrun communities I've been a part of, and I've been a part of a few now. And I also want to thank my close and personal friend, Mistress9, for having my back throughout all these years since right before entering high school. It's been a long time now, coming up 22 years or so. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. And with that, we'll kick it off to T-Tree.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for that amazing run of Ori and the Blind Forest. So technically dense, so exciting to watch, to listen to. I loved every part of it. Thanks again. As we get resituated here and get to move on to later in, well, it's the evening over here, but the games and the runs keep on rolling on absolutely without impediment. But a few more donations before we go over to the prize station. Help Myself sends in $41 and says, "This isn't my first donation to GDQ, but it is my first as a speedrunner. Best of luck to all the runners participating in this wonderful event. And hey, Tree, congrats on announcing again. Well deserved, friendo." Thank you so much, Health. I appreciate it. Stephanosaurus42 sends in $100 and says,
So the
"Dear
music that
Cancer."
everybody else.
Yeah, rat.
Oh, there we go. Are you in mine?
Here,
There we go, yeah,
Stephanosaurus.
We're good.
Yeah,
Thank you, eh?
I got to set up the. Yeah, thank you, UA. I got to set up the music.
We also have $100 from the Lord of Stuff, who says, $50 a day, every day this week for an amazing cause. I missed yesterday, so I've got to make up for it. We appreciate your honesty, Lord of Stuff. Thank you. $150 from Game Your Way, who says, "Here's my non-obligatory obligatory donation for this year's AGDQ. Loved being there in person, but I am happy to see all the effort the crew and teams are putting in to keep this tradition going. All the best of luck to the runners, and hope to see you again in person soon." Tomo sends in $250 and simply says, "Hello." Well, hello, Tomo. Thank you so much for your generosity. Speaking of that prize station that we're getting ready for, there's an anonymous donation for $100 who seems to be looking to win what they commented about. "My husband about passed out when he saw that PS5. What an awesome donated prize. Love this community and its myriad of talents." That is that chicory hand-painted PS5. If it's not on your screen right now, head over to gamesdonequick.com and look for the prizes button near the top of your screen to have a look. I promise it is worth your time. All right, and I'm getting word that we are ready for another prize segment with Scent and Mr. Game & Shout.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Awesome Games Done Quick Online 2022. Shout, how are you doing, man?
Doing great. Having a great night, man.
Having a great night. So I know it seemed like we were scrambling a little bit at the start of that last prize segment, and I have to tell you all why, because it's just a great behind-the-scenes story. So we sat down, we told production, yeah, we're good to go. Send it over to the prize segment whenever people are ready. And as soon as we said that, Shout's phone starts ringing. So, okay, you know what, whatever. Call back whoever was calling. It is his twin toddlers video calling him right as we sit down to start.
Yeah, like 10 seconds before the segment started. And it's just like, oh God, I have to. No! It felt bad.
I felt so bad for Shout, but that's why we were scrambling, and he got to have the call afterwards.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. I got a really cute video out of it. It's great.
It was adorable. Apparently, his daughter recognized me and called me her favorite, which I really enjoyed until Shout told me that previously Spike was her favorite. And you know what? I gotta agree with that one. I think Spike was the better choice.
As much as anything, that's based mostly on hair type between the two of them. Like it's uncanny the level of poof going on there. Seriously.
Indeed. So Shout, with the start of Ori, we have a whole new prize block to talk about, don't we?
Absolutely. So everything we're going to be telling you about, unless we say otherwise, is going to be available through the end of Hitman Codename 47 later, actually early in the morning, less later tonight and more early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you've got a good bit of time to get in donations, but get them in regardless.
Does not mean you can slack off.
Yeah, first off, from Watson, they've been sending us amazing pins for so many events in the row. We have a new one from them, a Neo The World Ends With You pin. It's a $5 minimum donation. The World Ends With You, Shout, I don't know if you're a big fan of it, but it's a game series I really loved. Loved playing the original on DS. Got a sequel on the Switch, which is super cool. I need to finish it. No spoilers, please. But this is an incredibly, beautifully well done pin. You can see it. You can see it shining in the light because, of course, it's lovely metallic.
Absolutely.
$5 minimum donation from now until the end of Hitman. Make sure to get those donations in.
For sure. Now, I'm going to go out of order. I'm going to let you do one of the next ones because you know the whole backstory better than me. So I'm going to change up our order a bit here. We've got a pair of prizes from Fangamer and Moon Studios.
Oh, I love these.
These are adorable. We have a pair of Ori plushes. We actually have an Ori plush and then a Baby Coo plush. They are so incredibly cute. They're very soft. They're very adorable. I love them very much. They are each a $10 minimum donation. Get you entered to win either one of them or maybe both of them. You never know.
it's certainly possible. And huge shout outs to Fangamer and Moon Studios for providing both of those.
Thank you so much.
So for a $10 minimum donation here, I'm going to slide this forward to the front of the table so our cameraman can get a better shot of it. We have a commemorative coin for the 2018 Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament. Now, you see, deep in the forest, Ori found what was lost. It turns out that was all of Ori's skills. That was the whole point of the tournament. You had to get all of them. This was donated to us by our good friend Agendracher, who is also known as Richard, the man moving the camera right now. Richard, you want to say hi to everyone? That'll work. Thank you, Richard.
That was, in fact, Richard.
Thank you so much for donating this coin. It's super cool. Apparently, it's a limited run of only like 200 or something, and only the people who participated in the tournament and the devs of Ori have these coins. So $10 minimum donation, you could win one of these unique coins. Shout, why don't you tell them about something from Pearl Pop?
Absolutely. Pearl Pop has hooked us up this event. We've got another one of their works here. For a $15 minimum donation, you can get this lovely Piranha Plant Perler. I love the perlers that we've gotten for Pearl Pop. One of the things that I've been learning as I've been doing prizes here is just how much skill and technique goes into perlers and how you can achieve different finishes on them. The heat management is so critical, and seeing so many of these perlers that just have this beautiful matte finish all the way through, incredibly smooth, incredibly well done. I love it. I wish I could have this one. I can't have this one. You could win this one. $15 minimum donation gets you in.
For sure. Thank you so much, Pearl Pop. And from Making It Nerdy here, $25 minimum donation, we have this absolutely beautiful Kirby string art. I'm going to move it around in the lights a bit so you can see. There's a bunch of nails attached to the outline of Kirby here. And then in between those nails are tons and tons of woven strings in, you know, pink and red and black and white and all the colors you need to make Kirby. And it creates this absolutely adorable effect of Kirby made entirely out of nails and string. That's incredible. I mean, there are so many cool mediums that people work with, but like nails and string, Shout.
No,
how do you do that with those materials?
A lot of planning. I can only assume.
Thank you so much to Making It Nerdy for sending it out. And remember, $25 before the end of Hitman gets you entered to win that amazing prize. Now, speaking of amazing prizes, from Storyteller Cosplay and Cute Monster Props, we have an absolutely incredible Ori statue down here right on the table if we want to zoom in on that. This is so beautiful. It's a $25 minimum donation from now until the end of Hitman. There's just a ton of great detail on it. Ori is sitting on top of a log, which is coming out of water, and there's like ripples in the water and flowers floating in it and moss growing on the log. It's just absolutely beautiful, Shout. I'm a huge fan of what Storyteller Cosplay and Cute Monster Props have been able to do to capture the spirit of Ori here. $25 minimum donation, and Ori could be yours. Now, one more amazing prize we got to talk about, Shout, because I can't stop talking about it. Because until the end of Hitman, Codename 47, if you donate at least $100 as a single donation, you'll be entered into win not only everything we just talked about, but this absolutely one-of-a-kind, custom hand-painted PS5 featuring artwork from Chicory, A Colorful Tale. It is incredible. It's super well done. It's
inside
so vibrant.
And outside of those covers too.
Yeah. Both sides of the shields are hand painted, I believe.
Yeah.
This face of it glows under a black light. And if you just tuned in to our newest episode of Sit and Shout, point a black light at things, not only can you see this glowing under the black light here, but as a fun little bonus, Ori also glows under a black light.
It's true.
I found out about that one 5 minutes after the last segment. Cute Monster Props emailed me and he was like, yo, just as a note, Ori also glows if you want to show that off. So super cool. Thank you all so much for all of the amazing prizes you've been able to provide for us. And thank you all so much for all of the donations we've received. We've already raised over $380,000 for Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yeah.
Is this going to be the Monday where we hit $400,000, Shout?
I hope so. And there are definitely enough things to do to get us there. We also still have some incentives open, so please keep those donations coming while you're on the website. Again, gamesdonequick.com. You can be watching the stream there. Click on the donate link. I think it's up there in the top right. While you are there, you can put your donations towards some of our open incentives. Last I checked, we had not quite met the Serious Sam 4 any % incentive. We were still just like $400 short of that, so that may very well have closed by now. They have also opened an incentive for the Final Fantasy 13 run for a blindfolded Dahaka fight.
Yep, Dahaka is a boss a bit later in the game. And Final Fantasy 13, as you all are going to see tomorrow, is a run that has been so meticulously and tightly routed. The fact that someone can execute a fight without being able to see is just... it's absurd to me. You do not want to miss it. Of course, I got to see it as part of the incentive submission, but you all definitely want to see it. We need, I think, still about $70,000 to make that happen before tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I know we can get there. I know we can get to 400,000. It's going to happen. Thank you all so much. And don't go anywhere because you don't want to miss Super Mario Galaxy. Everyone loves Super Mario Galaxy, right, Chow?
Fantastic game. I love that game. First donation I ever had read on stream was during Super Mario Galaxy.
Ah, there we go. Stay tuned and enjoy.
See ya.
Welcome back to Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online, powered by Twitch. My name is Atitri, and you know, I feel like we don't say this enough. I just want to thank you, chat, all of you, for watching and being part of this amazing event. We could not do it without you. We're going to take a real quick break, so I want you to take care of yourselves, get some water, get something to eat, get comfy, and we'll be right back. And we're back with more Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online. I have just a few things left to do in my hosting shift. It has been a pleasure to be here with you, Twitch chat. We have a $25 donation from CyberbotX who says, the Ori run was amazing to watch. Great job, rinSR. I'm also looking forward to this Super Mario Galaxy race. Best of luck to both runners. putting this donation towards the bonus blindfolded fight in Final Fantasy XII. Thank you, Cyberbot. We appreciate that very much. And on that note, while I tell you that it has been an honor and a pleasure, as it always is, and that I look forward to seeing you again later in the week, and I ask you to be good to yourselves and to each other and stay cute, we have an interview for that Super Mario Galaxy race coming up with Mr. Cloud Kirby, Hardcore Gaming, Jhay, and Tibs. So when you come back from that interview, you will be in the hands of the always amazing Char Bunny. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Welcome back, AGDQ 2022 Online. My name is Jhay Hobbs, and I am joined by Hardcore Gaming, Tibs, Jhay, and Mr. Cloud Kirby, who are all going to be running Super Mario Galaxy in just a minute. Thank you all so much for joining me. So, how excited, how nervous are we feeling leading into this? Hit me with the rapid fire feelings. Hardcore Gaming, let's start with you.
I'm extremely nervous. It's my first GDQ. I've been stressing out all day.
Yeah, I think it's first GDQ for everybody here, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, Jhay, how you feeling?
Yeah, first GDQ for me as well. I've been prepping for this for ages. I've played 10 hours today already. I really want to show off the game well today, so I'm really nervous.
CK, how about you?
Yeah, I'm nervous as well, but I'm a little bit excited. First GDQ,
Yeah.
It's gonna be quite an experience.
Tibbs, you keeping the pattern or you breaking it? You're cold, you're calm, collected, you're ready to go. No, sorry, how you feel?
I actually was feeling that before, but now I'm feeling a little nervous. This is also my first GDQ. I started running at the start of 2021, so I am really surprised that I'm even here and thankful that all of us are here as well.
Yeah, we kind of got two fresh faces and two old boys going on right now, right? Because Hardcore Gaming and CK, you've both been running this since I think around 2017, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jhay and Tibbs, brand new basically since the what was it called? The All-Stars version, 3D All-Stars came out and everything. And I just want to ask kind of what draws everybody to Galaxy here, because for me, I think it's one of the best 3D Mario speedruns, period. But what are all of your thoughts? Let's go backwards this time. Tibbs, you go ahead and start.
For me, I think it's the nostalgia factor, because I think Super Mario Galaxy was my childhood game, and beating it as fast as possible is a real challenge for me, and it's also reliving my childhood. So I think it's really cool.
Cool. CK?
You took the words out of my mouth, Tibbs. Feel the exact same way. Been playing it casually for a very long time as well, and kind of stopped playing it for a few years, but I did pick it up and try to speedrun it.
Jhay, how about you? Why this game?
Hey, it's just so visually appealing. You'll see from the run, a lot of the tricks and movement can just be that's so satisfying to pull off. It's addicting. I'm always playing the game. I always want to try and improve ILs, times, everything. It's very addicting. Yeah, it's very visually appealing to watch.
In Hardcore Gaming, was there anything in particular that brought you to it, or was there maybe one trick you saw or anything like that, or is it just no? I just love this game.
Yeah, the latter one probably. I just love this game. I also played it a lot as a kid. And then I saw the 602 race in 2017, and that was kind of my first exposure to speedrunning. And I wanted to try it myself, and my only choice was my favorite game.
But we got a bunch of 120 star runners here as well. You are going to be doing the any % Luigi variety today. And from what I understand, things have changed a lot in the last year for this game. Can anybody kind of expound on that for me? Talk a little bit about some of the skips and discoveries found?
Yeah, so pretty recently, a lot of runners have been incorporating two-player mode, which a lot of us use two Wii remotes either taped together or velcroed together, which allow us to do some different movement and skips. Is allowed for a minute of time save in any %, a few minutes in 120. And also, I think since last GDQ, we've also had we've started running on the JPVC version on Wii U for faster loads and text, which is also quite significant time save for both runs because of the length of the game. Yeah, there's been a lot of tricks as well.
Yeah, I also think in the last 1 to 2 years, there's been a massive influx of threat hunters as well. And people trying to push strats to be RTA viable, to find setups. And for example, quite recently, we started doing a new route that used to be thought to be TAS only, but we now figured out a way to do that RTA, and all those kind of time saves that just add up over the years.
That's how it goes, doesn't it? You know, it's the TAS only until it isn't, and then everybody's got to do it. But so with these awesome skips, and you said there was a lot new kind of strat hunters and everything. Was there just a big influx when the 3D All Stars version of the game came out on Switch, or did it just happen to be kind of a coincidence that we're seeing so many changes over the last year? Maybe Tibs or CK, if either of you know.
I think back in like 2020, I think when Valu came back to this game, I think he also found a lot of stuff, a lot of new strats that can actually push the category like about a minute or two lower. So like there's like various ones, like you can skip the Boo Mushroom and Ghostly one, you can get out of bounds in Battle Rock 1/L, and then there's also Gateway Skip.
Okay. And Tibbs, for you, when you started running this, because you're brand new, like 2021 runner, right, of this game, did you jump in straight, like headfirst into 2-player runs, or did you actually mess around with 1-player first?
So I messed around with 1-player Any Percent Mario, and I found it to be really difficult. And then when I started doing 2P, I thought it was like more interesting and kind of wacky, and it kind of made the game more, I don't know, alive in my opinion, because there's just so many more opportunities with it.
I did want to get a few rapid fire questions real quick to everybody. So I'm going to go kind of around the horn on what I can see in my view here. So Hardcore Gaming, we're going to start with you. Everybody just give me your favorite trick in the run, your trick you're most worried about in the run, and what you think is like the visually the coolest one. So Hardcore Gaming, you go first.
For me, all the answers all the questions have the same answer, which is Bedrock 1 out of bounds. It's the hardest one in my opinion. It's frame perfect, and it's the most visually appealing one, and it's also the one I'm the most worried about. But at this point in the game's development, it's not too bad to miss it in a run, because the world record doesn't even have it. Like you do it twice, the world record doesn't even have it twice, because it's just so hard and people barely ever get it twice in the same run.
All right, interesting. How about you, Jay? What are you feeling for the coolest or your favorite? You think that you're most worried about and most like interesting to the viewers?
I think a lot of people will find like even just general 2P movement very interesting. I think in terms of like just jet levels in general to look out for, I think Honey Hive 2 is one that'll surprise a lot of people. Same with maybe Boy Base 1 near the end of the run. And tricks in particular, I think Ghostly S keyless, we can do the ending section keyless, which is pretty visually appealing. And also Ghostly 1 as well is a pretty cool one to look out for. Quite like Ghostly 1.
Cool. CK, hit me up. What are your picks?
I think Battle Rock Out of Bounds is probably one of the coolest tricks that's ever been found. Like, would have thought you can actually skip the yellow scroller. Like, nobody ever thought that. I think the trick that I'm most worried about is probably Ghostly 1, because the trick is kind of precise, because the platform you have to land on to get to Luigi and skip the Boo Mushroom is kind of small, so you can fail it pretty easily.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember Battle Rock 1 was always a part that felt like the big slowdown, like part of the early game for me when I was running the game very, very long ago in horrible runs. Tibbs, hit me up. What do you think are your answers to your favorite, the hardest, and the most interesting?
For me, I think my favorite trick is probably this trick called Crump Jump. It's the trick in Gold Leaf 2 at the end of the level. And it's actually a new trick where you backflip and then do a 2P jump, and then you do a wall jump off like the pedal where the star is, and then you grab the star immediately. You'll see us do that in the race. the one I'm the most worried about is probably Gateway Skip, and the most appealing one to look at is probably Battle Rock Out of Bounds.
Okay, interesting. I really like we got a big variety like across the run here out of the answers. We had some early game stuff, we had some late game stuff. I think that's really cool, and it gives us a really good run to look forward to. I think it means everybody should tune in. You should watch the entire Super Mario Galaxy race. Grab just some tea and a blanket or something, get comfy, but not too comfy because they're going to be done with it a lot faster than I think anybody is really expecting them to be. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining me for this interview. I'd love to talk more about the minutia of Super Mario Galaxy sometime, but unfortunately we don't have that time today. And I'm going to let you all get to your speed run and hope everybody continues watching Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 online. Bye, everybody.
Hello everyone! My name is Charbunny and you're watching Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 online. You just heard from them in that interview and now you get to see them in action because it's time for our 4-way any % Luigi race of Super Mario Galaxy with runners Mr. Cloud Kirby, Hardcore Gaming, Jhay, and Tibs, and with commentary by Rox and Silo. Good luck everyone!